So let's say that you finally start thinking in a right-minded way, and so you don't have to come back again. But if we're all one at the beginning, then we all have to come to right-mindedness before we can join with God and not having to come back again. Is that correct?
That sounds like it should be the case, and it sounds like a very good question, but it's based on mistaken premise. And the mistaken premise is that God's sons are many. And certainly our experience is that God's sons are many. And it would therefore seem, if we all have to go back home together because we left as one, we're going to have to wait a long time because there are billions and billions and billions of us running around, and not all of them are as spiritually advanced as we are, right? So we have to wait a long time. All right, there's a question in the teacher's manual that addresses that. And it says, how many teachers of God are needed to save the world? And the answer is one. And that one is not necessarily Jesus. He'd be an example, but he's not the one that's talked about. The one teacher of God who's needed to save the world is you, whoever it is who's reading those words. Because when your mind is healed, when you become right-minded, which means you have chosen against the separation, which also means you've chosen against the fragmentation, which follows from that, then you realize God only has one son. And at that moment, you realize not only does God only have one son, but there's no separation. So that the question, which is an obvious question to ask and a thoughtful question to ask, from the point of view of the world of separate bodies, all of a sudden disappears. And when your mind is healed, you realize there is no one else. One of the questions that people frequently ask is, what happens when I die? Am I now in heaven? Is the veil of forgetfulness lifted? And sometimes people ask the question, when I come back, do I have to do the workbook again? Right? I've been asked that, actually. All right, now, the problem with all those questions, which are very sincere questions, the problem with that question is that it's based on the premise that you're here in the body. And then you want to know what happens when I leave the body. Well, you never are in the body. You are always in the decision-making part of your mind, dreaming you're in a body. Dreaming that your body was born at a certain time, at a certain date. Dreaming that your life extended a certain amount of time. And dreaming that your body died. Dreaming that your body died. All the time this dream is going on, you are in your mind. So what happens when you die is nothing. Because nothing happened while you were here. Right? Think of yourself watching a movie. Think of yourself sitting at home in a nice, comfortable chair watching a movie. Right? And you're in your chair. For 2 hours, your brain is someplace else, right? You're identified with the characters in the movie. All right? Then the movie ends. Some people live, some people die, whatever happens, happens. Has anything changed in you? No, you're still sitting in your chair. For 2 hours, you joined someone else's dream, the filmmaker's dream, and you identified with the characters on the screen. You never left your chair. The movie ends. You've never left your chair. Right? Then you say, I want to see another movie, so you change channels. You've never left your chair. And the 2 hours of the next movie, you're in another time, another place with other characters, but you've never left your chair. Right? Similarly, when we are dreaming a dream of being born and living and dying, we've never left our chair. We're still a decision maker. So whatever guilt is in my mind while I am seemingly here, when my body dies, the guilt is still there. Nothing's changed. You don't suddenly have vision when you die. You don't necessarily see a white light when you die. You may or you may not. You may see a dark light. All right. If you die and your mind is wrong-minded, you're going to have wrong-minded thoughts. If you die and your mind is right-minded, you have right-minded thoughts. While you're sitting here, you have wrong-minded thoughts or right-minded thoughts. Nothing is here. Nothing changes. What changes is your decision maker choosing to either be with your ego or with the Holy Spirit. That's what changes. Nothing else changes.